Welcome to the podcast hosted by timecamp.com on how to stay on top of your work.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Kate with another episode of the podcast Stay on Top of Your Work. And today my guest is Sumudu Siriwardana. She works in project management. So if you feel like you need some great tips on project management, you are in the right place. Hi, Sumudu. How are you today?
Hi, I'm good. Hope you're good too. Thanks for having me on today.
Thank you for joining me here today. I'm really happy to have you here today. So, Sumudu, the first question I'd like to ask you is to tell a few things about yourself and what exactly do you do?
Yeah, I'm a project manager. I have been working as a project manager for 3 years now. So before that, I used to be a business analyst, and after that, I moved to project management because I've always wanted to get into the project management. So yeah, I would say I'm quite young for the world of project management.
Okay, that sounds good. Because I think many people who listen to us are also young and new to the project management world. So I hope we will get some great tips from you. So I'd like to ask you how to deliver a successful project when applying Agile project management methods.
Yeah, how to successfully deliver a project. So let's say when we get a project, the first thing we have to do is to come up with the project vision, to identify what is the vision of the project and come up with the requirements and what are the features that we need to achieve that vision. So when we clarify those things, then we are coming up with a plan to achieve this vision and these features, how to build that and everything. So yes, after the plan, then we are executing the project, and then after testing and everything, so we are just releasing the new features to the market, and based on that, we are getting the customer feedback, and then we try to review the project outcomes and how we have done the project earlier. So that is the usual process of doing the project. But when it comes to agile project management, what we are doing right now is so the traditional project management, you are going through this process as a waterfall method, phase by phase. So in agile project management, what we do is we these features or these outcomes that we have to achieve for the project vision, we divide these project goals into iterations, and then we deliver a set of value features at the end of each iteration. So that is the normal approach for the agile project management.
Okay. So I'd like to ask you, when we talk about Agile project management, what are the main principles of it and which are crucial to delivering a project according to you?
Crucial. Let's say agile project management is all about handling changes, because nowadays all the projects, it's changing very fastly. Mindset and technology and everything is changing very fastly. So with the agile project management, we have the opportunity to change according to the market. So that is one aspect of agile project management. So to achieve this, we need to have a self-disciplined team that can handle these changes at any given time. So with the technology wise, they have to be able to take the responsibility of the solutions, and they should be able to work as a team and deliver these features according to a certain period of time, because if we are late to deliver our features to the market, then I don't see a value in those features. So the crucial part of agile is actually the team.
Okay, so when we talk about the team, how can we make a team successful? How can we be a good leader in managing a team in project management?
Yes. I wouldn't say we can manage teams actually, because management is all about like you're saying what to do and how to do it, when to do it. So I would say for an agile team, what you need to be a leader. You have to be a leader for the team and you have to be a facilitator to the team. So when you're doing that, you give this total responsibility to the team to come up with a solution and the approach that they are going to develop these features. So what you can do is actually, as a leader, guide the team through a set of processes. If they need help at any time, you have to be there to like deliver those the expectation that the team is expecting from you. So be a good facilitator. That is the crucial part of handling agile teams.
Mhm. And when we talk about team management or leading a team, I'm also thinking about stakeholders. And the question I'm thinking about is how can we work between stakeholders and the projects team in order to successfully deliver a project?
Yes, that is one of the very tricky part of project management, I would say, because these two stakeholders, they have different expectations, different mindset and personalities. So especially stakeholder is always looking at the project uh, in the eyes of profit or what is the value that they are getting. And the team is always looking at the project as like how to develop and how to deliver these features. So there's a conflict between these two aspects because the stakeholders, they need the clients, they need the project delivered as fast as possible. But from the team perspective, there can be like technological challenges and some other conflicts to deliver it within that time period. So as a project leader, you have to get involved in these situations and balance both sides when it comes to time frames and budget. So you can negotiate with both sides and influence both sides and have a better communication between them. So then you can reduce most of the conflicts. And yeah, that is one aspect actually. And then the other thing is you have to always like uh, uh, have the clear communication with your clients. If you're promising something to the clients and if your team can't deliver it within that time period or that within that budget, then it is going to be a big problem for your role and for your company, as because client is losing his trust on your company. So because of that, from the beginning of the project, you have to clearly communicate every goal, every expectation between the client and the team as well. So one good thing in agile project management is we are always communicating with the client most of the time as the product owner, or the requirement we are getting from the client itself. And end of each iterations of the project, we are always showing the demonstration to the client so he knows what's going on. So that is very crucial part to make them happy and the balance the team and the stakeholder side.
Okay, that's great. You mentioned like technological challenges, and I'm thinking about, because you said that you have been working as a project manager for 3 years, and I think this is great because I can actually ask you about the challenges that you meet in your work. Can you say what are these challenges and what do you find maybe most challenging in your work?
Yeah, one thing actually, stakeholder management. That is one of the most challenging part, balancing the team and the client both aspects. So I have mentioned that earlier as well. And the other challenge is actually managing different people, different personalities, different mindset towards a common goal, leading them towards a common goal. That is very challenging because without clear communication strategies, uh, we can't have a collaborative team, I guess, because if I'm talking to you individually, you might understand something else. If I'm talking to someone else individually, they might understand something else. But at the same time, if I'm talking to them together also, with their personality and mindset, they can understand totally different things at the same time. So leading them towards this common goal, common vision, and clearly mentioning what we are expecting from them is one of the way to like overcome this challenge, I guess. But the team management and stakeholder management, I would say, most challenging parts right now.
Okay. And when there appear problems in project management or in project or certain changes or any other issues, how do you think we can adjust them in order to still achieve the project that we want?
Yeah. So whenever we get changes, actually this changes is one of another crucial thing in the projects, because nowadays the market is changing rapidly and we have to do some changes very quickly because one of the requirements we are getting this week, within 2-3 months that requirement is changing. So that is one major thing that we have to handle very carefully. So I would say, like, one thing, whenever we get changes from clients, what we do is we actually prioritize them, whether we they must have these things or it is nice to have. So based on that, we can prioritize what are the urgent work that we have to do. So based on these changes, sometimes we might have to do a whole big change to our database level or backend level. So then we have to communicate with the client. If this is a totally new change, we might need more time to like get it done. The timeline that we have already agreed with the client can be changed. So on the other hand, there can be like very like changes that it's actually nice to have. It's just the client just want it to have it there. Actually doesn't deliver any value to the project. So then we can negotiate with the client. Okay, this phase we can't actually do that. Okay, for the MVP, we can release these set of features, and for the next phase, we can come up with these changes. So likewise, we have to prioritize every change that we are getting and negotiate with the client and re-evaluate the impact and then only act upon it.
Okay. So I'd like to ask you also about staying productive during delivering a project, because I think productivity is one of the huge challenges and difficulties that people and project managers meet. So how do you think we can do that?
Being productive. A good way to measure your productivity is actually you can measure your work against your estimation, the original estimation that you have given. Because whenever we are getting to a project, we estimate all the tasks. And when we are dividing those tasks among the team members, they agree upon that estimation. If there are like major changes, then we are doing that changes to the estimation. Always we are taking team members idea on the estimation. So he's responsible for the estimation that he's giving. So based on that, we have to measure his performance. So when we are measuring this performance daily wise, we can show it to the team members as well. As a team, as individual, they can see their performance day by day. I think when you're doing that constantly and ask him if there's a major performance drop, you can ask what is the reason for that. Maybe that can be his family issue, maybe there can be some technological issue that he can't overcome and he doesn't want to ask from someone else. So talking to them and coming up with solution, helping them to achieve their task. So doing that, they can see their performance by daily. When they're seeing their performance, they get self-motivated to increase their productivity level. So that is, I think, the best way to make them productive.
Okay, that's great. So let's switch to the maybe creative part of the podcast, which I personally love. And the first question I'd like to ask you about is what inspires you in your work? Maybe do you read some books? Because many of my guests recommend some great books. And what about you? What inspires you in your work?
Yes, I am actually a bookworm. I am a avid reader. I am like always reading. So I'm a huge fan of reading actually, but not only business books actually, a lot of fictions I would say, because I like these fiction books because it helps you to enhance your creativity and think out of the box. That is one reason. And also I like the creativity inside these plots when you get into a fiction and the beautiful way of it has been written. So I really enjoy my reading time always. So inspired books wise, I would say I read a lot of biographies as well actually. So one of the most inspiring biographies I have read recently is actually about Elon Musk. It's a great book actually about entrepreneurship. You get really motivated and inspired by just reading the book. And project management wise, I would say there's this book called Making Things Happen, Mastering Project Management by Scott Berkun. It's actually very simple to read, very simple read. I learned a lot of technical things about project management from this book actually, and I'm currently practicing most of the things that Scott has been telling inside this book. Uh, yeah. Other than that, actually, I always read blogs. I always read all more lot of project management blogs actually. So few of them are like the Girl's Guide to Project Management, the Project Shrink, Project Management Hub, likewise. So actually, I get all this inspiration from blogs, books, and when I come across certain new practices, new trends, I like to experiment them.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's great. That's inspiring. And actually, one of my guests was the author of the blog, which you mentioned. What was it? That Girl's Guide to Project
Girls' Guide.
Management?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
and that podcast will be out soon, so you can actually listen to that and get inspired too. That's really great.
That's
So the last that's the last question I have to you is connected with the title of this podcast, Stay on Top of Your Work. How do you stay on top of your work?
ah, I would say learning every day, because when you want to be on top of your work, you have to learn everything that you can. I am new to project management. I have a lot of things to learn actually. So every day I'm trying to learn something new from everyone around me or certain practices. So I read a lot because of that actually. So then I can learn new things and practice them. Maybe sometimes I fail, sometimes I success. It doesn't matter. So from everything I learn a lesson. So I would say, like, if you want to be on top of your work, doesn't matter PM, leadership, doesn't matter the field that you are in, you have to learn every day and keep learning.
Okay, thank you very much. Sumudu, thank you so much for this podcast. I think it was extremely inspiring and we got really great tips from you. Thank you very
Thank you
much
so
for
much.
joining me here today.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. So you guys make sure to check out more information about Sumudu, and we got some really great tips from her today. Subscribe to our podcast for more content, get inspired, and stay tuned for the next episode, and I see you around. Bye-bye.
This podcast was brought to you by Timecam. You can listen to it on iTunes and SoundCloud. Subscribe to get more content and always stay on top of your work.